This is Picard, Season 2, Episode 1. Let's get to it. We open on the corridors of an unknown starship. Sparks are flying, crew are running through the hall. Something is happening, whether they're under attack or it's a systems failure, we don't know. But you see them grabbing weapons, which gives us a hint, and then 3 run into a turbo lift, where there's suddenly silence until they reach the bridge, and all heck is breaking loose. Again, sparks are flying, crew are running everywhere. We see Picard, we see Rios, we see Dr. Girardi, I believe we see Seven as well. And through the air come what look like black tendrils, oily, slick, and metallic at the same time. Through all of this, suddenly we see Picard turn and a voice ring out. Picard. 48 hours earlier. It is a beautiful day. The sun is shining. Grapes are being harvested by transport. Bottles are being labeled by a synthesizer. It's just been a wonderful harvest. Picard is in a great mood. And that evening, he sits down and enjoys a glass of wine with Laris. Their conversation is companionable, friendly, and begins to take a romantic turn. Laris is still mourning the loss of her husband. However, it's become obvious that what she feels for Picard is more than companionship, and he is tempted. However, something holds him back at the last moment, and it's the fact that he is a man of duty first, and he doesn't believe that his duty is over yet. Picard is running through a home as a child. He dashes into a conservatory, panes dirty and the room unkempt, but still what could be a really terrific space. Behind him walks in a woman, and it's his mother. She knows that Picard is not happy with the move. He's going to miss Paris, but she helps him look up through the panes into a future and imagines painting the panes so it'll be a lovely space for just them. She encourages him by telling him to look up into the stars. Pan out past stars and planets to the USS Avalon, who is witnessing right now an explosion in space. It's an anomaly that has appeared, and that anomaly has a familiar green glow. Back at home, Picard is in search for a particular book, and Laris is attempting to help him find this book. As Laris helps him find the book, she lets him know that now things between them, because of how last night went, are a little uneasy. Next, we see Picard in full dress uniform, speaking to an audience, and we see that there are cadets in the audience. One in particular is Elnor. Elnor is the first Romulan cadet. In Picard's speech, he says that he's come from a line of explorers. However, the person who really helped him look forward to this future in space was his mother, who was not an explorer herself, but always encouraged her son to look up into the stars. And most importantly, look up Jean-Luc and let's see what's out there. Aboard the La Serena, we see Seven. She is command alone. She's been boarded by several aliens who want to take the delivery of goods she has for the Rangers. It takes some doing, but with the help of some of the hollows, she's able to take the aliens out. Just then, they find themselves in front of that same anomaly that the other starship had just discovered. Raritan 4. We see Soji at a table full of, I assume, dignitaries enjoying a nice meal. Agnes is also there, not at the table, but at the bar, having a few drinks, and you can see they're having their effect. There at the bar, she is being flirted with by one of the dignitaries, and she basically lets him know that she has so much baggage, it is not worth even asking her for a date. Just as her would-be date gets the message, she's interrupted by a message from Rios. Next, Agnes goes and talks to Soji and lets her know that she's going to have to leave. Ever since their companionship on the La Serena, she's not really been all that comfortable around Rios. Aboard the Stargazer, Rios, his crew, and Agnes warp to the anomaly. Back with Picard, Elnor, and Raffi, We see Rafi back in her gold uniform, Picard still in his dress uniform, and Elnor looking very much the cadet in his red uniform as well. They are discussing his future. Picard presents Elnor with the book he had been looking for earlier. It's one that was written by Spock, which goes over Spock's experience as the first Vulcan in the Academy, and hopes that this will help Elnor adjust as the first full-blooded Romulan. Meanwhile, on board the Stargazer, we're at the anomaly, and Rios sees Seven pull up this with the La Sereno. He's not real pleased with the condition the ship is in, but Seven's done her best, and she's doing some hard work. The ship's going to get some damage. Suddenly, a signal begins to emit from the anomaly. The signal is run through a translator, every translator, and Agnes attempts to analyze it. It's not one signal, but multiple signals. And each one of them is asking for the same thing: Picard. Back on Earth with Picard, he's entering a historic area. I believe it was Forward Avenue, Building 10. You guessed it, Guinan. She owns this bar, and she's very happy to see your old friend. Guinan can tell that something is troubling her old friend. Through some discussion, he reveals that he's been in love before, but there's something, a secret, that even Guinan doesn't know about him. The fear connected to this secret is what is, my guess, what is holding him back. Back at the vineyard, Picard is visited by a Federation representative who brings him the signal that is being dispersed through the anomaly, and they ask for his help. And so we watch Laris seeing a shuttlecraft take off screen without Picard even saying goodbye to her. Back on the Stargazer, Picard is walking through the corridors with Seven. He is being shown some reverence by the crew, while Seven is uneasy aboard the new Stargazer, which is comprised of some of the Borg technology brought back. When they meet up with Rios and Agnes, they all greet each other and share their concerns about the anomaly. They immediately commence communication. Without any time to waste, the anomaly repeats, Picard. Suddenly alarms are blaring, the screens are too squiggly to really make out, and the Stargazer seems to be under attack. Through the anomaly, we see a ship emerge, and it is obviously Borg. It looks like an oversized diamond, but it is incredibly large and seems to be nearly the entire width of the anomaly itself. Several Federation ships warp in. Rafi is included, and so is Elnor. On board the Stargazer, Seven, Picard, Rios, and Agnes are trying to figure out what they're supposed to do next. The Borg are asking for help. They are asking to be let into the Federation. They want to send a representative, the Queen, onto the ship to discuss terms. Seven doesn't want to do this. No one is comfortable with the idea. They know they've got to do something. However, they have no time to decide as a transporter beam is being forced through the shields. The Queen is suddenly on board. However, this is not a Queen we've ever seen before. She's covered head to toe in the leather latex we usually see from neck down, and you can't even make out what kind of alien she may be. Her face is completely covered, and suddenly tendrils come out from her back and are attacking the ship. Into every panel, everywhere, they're hitting crew members. However, it's not killing anyone. It's shooting, it's defending, but it's not killing. While a Borg suddenly appearing on board is not unusual, them not murdering is. Somewhere in there, Agnes notes that not only is the Queen taking over the Stargazer, but it's using the Stargazer as a hub to control all of the ships that have just warped in. Communication is gone. Seven warns Picard that the Borg cannot get the fleet that has come to help. Picard institutes an auto-destruct. The countdown sounds in the background. Then the Borg Queen calls to Picard and asks him to look up. Then, in a flash, what looks like an explosion, we see Picard on the ground back at his vineyard. But it's dirty, it's unkempt, the area he's in. I believe it's back in that same conservatory that we started out in. And when he looks up, he sees that while it is his home, something is definitely different. As he walks through, the rest of the house is kept. It's clean, it's taken care of, but the paintings on the wall are unfamiliar, and his home itself doesn't feel quite right. Then he is greeted by a synth rather than Laris. Enter Q. The trial never ends. Welcome to the road not taken. And that's my review and summary of Picard Season 2, Episode 1. Please like and subscribe for more content just like this.